Okay, today we have a Rolleiflex 3.5F. This one's easy to identify as a 3.5F because if you look on top, right next to the serial number, it says 3.5F. That makes it easier for me than some of the ones that I have that are difficult. This one I picked up used, I think for a couple $100. This one has a leather strap that I put on just with regular O-rings because I didn't have one of those special Rolleiflex clips. And this works fine. I don't mind this at all. I have this nice black leather. I like the look of that kind of, you know, for Rolleiflex. I don't want something too plasticky. So this is a 3.5F. I had it looked over by somebody who said that this black piece actually was removed, and that's like the bottom of a can or something. Like that's actually a replacement piece, and that somebody had worked on this camera and done some things to it that he didn't like so much. The condition isn't in great condition. It's got some marks on it. It's certainly a user. The thing about it is, he said, this camera has a problem. It won't focus to infinity. And I said, well, I don't usually focus it at infinity. I'm not a landscape shooter. I shoot a lot of close-ups of people, a lot of portraits. And in the viewfinder, I can see in the TLR, I can see that the focus is right on. So I've processed film with this. I've had great results with it. So some things may not be the best thing on paper, but whether it's usable or not, just because somebody says something's wrong with it, doesn't mean that you can't use it. I have this round lens hood because I think a lot of the Rolleiflexes benefit with a lens hood for cutting down flare. This isn't my favorite. This is one that I picked up somewhere, and it happens to fit, and I kind of like the look of it too. So again, when you pick up one of these, your shutter is here, your aperture is here. This is a 3.5F, so the widest aperture is 3.5, and it goes to f/22 for its smallest aperture setting. And this has a little button down here. You could basically turn this collar and it prevents it from shooting, so you don't waste film when it's in your bag and you accidentally hit that button. And then when you turn it open, it'll fire. The way you use all Rolleiflexes is you shoot and then you wind back a full circle and then come back. So you wind to here and then you come back. The shutters sound like they're working well. Again, I do a lot of sound checking on my shutters. The difference between a 250 should be apparent compared to a 1/8 of a second. I heard a difference there. Again, I don't shoot a whole lot of portraits at an 1/8 of a second or a 1/4 of a second. So if the slow speeds are a little bit off, that's okay with me. But this is the 1/4 of a second. That sounded okay to me. Again, this one's in user shape. Some of the leather is peeling up in here. It's got a viewfinder where this thing doesn't like to stay open all the way. You have to kind of open it and hold it open. But again, for a couple $100, it was a budget 3.5F. It's got one of the more desirable Xenitar lenses on it as opposed to the planar, but it's better than the Tessar. And again, overall, this is a good deal in a camera that may have some problems on paper, but I've shot portraits with it and I really like the look. It's sharp, it's in focus for what I'm doing. When you check out one of these, you know, open this up and see how this opens up. This one, like I said, it doesn't open all the way. Kind of have to like stretch it out a little bit. It's a little bit of an older finder. You can tell the 3.5F and the 2.8F, they have a removable finder. Just with these little latches, you can remove the finder. You open the bottom, pop open the bottom. I hope we don't see any film in here. Okay, good. There's the inside of the camera, pretty clean. These tend to be. This has a plate that allows you to shoot 35 millimeter or 120. I just leave it where it is at 120. To close it, you just push that down and then you turn this back. And that pulls this back and it latches this little pin down in there. Okay, so that's the 3.5F. Is this maybe the best Rolleiflex? I think it might be. Because the 2.8F is so expensive and it's so much heavier. I feel like it's a lot heavier to hold. And the 3.5F you can get at some bargain prices comparatively to the 2.8F. And I think it's a solid Rolleiflex. It has many years of use and certainly they are repairable. So I like this one a lot. This is a go-to camera for portraiture. I have other Rolleiflexes that I can use for infinity focus to shoot distance. So rather than putting any money into this one, I just use it for portraits. But when you get a camera, check it out. Make sure everything's working. If you see something like that, if you look closely, you can see that there are edges to this. It's actually got like straight edges. It's not a perfect circle. And it's been, again, glued on and replaced by somebody who worked on the camera. This is how he said you access the focus control and calibration. And that's how he knew. But again, it's nice and smooth. That's the Rolleiflex 3.5F. Certainly one of my favorite cameras. If you have any questions, put them in the posts below. We'll talk about them and I'll answer your questions as soon as I see them. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with more cameras. Talk to you soon. Oh, hit the subscribe button too. I think it's up there.